So today I'm going to teach you how to do the Windswept Unleashed haircut. One of my favorite things about this haircut is we treat the head as a whole. So in traditional previous training that I've had, they really want us separating the front, like right behind the ear, forward, different, but that's just silly when the entire head, you want that whole haircut to flow. So our first section is going to be from the bottom of the ear to the other bottom of that ear. Our second section is going from the top of the ear across to the other top of the ear. And then we're going to go from the parietal ridge all the way around to the other side of the parietal ridge. And then everything left on top is our last section. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to take this first section here at the nape, and we're going to create that perimeter of this haircut. I'm going to smooth all this out. And I'm going to make sure and over direct my outer corners here because we want to preserve that length, right? And then I'm going to determine my length. I'm going to keep my surface razor and I'm going to put it on top because I want her perimeter to have a little bit of that flip up, and short hair pushes long hair. So if she's got shorter length here, it's going to push that long hair up. So we are creating the shape. It should prevent them from having to do as much thermal styling. And then we're going to move up to that next section. We're going to use this as our guide for our length, making sure to take these corners and over direct them in. So we're doing that because this is the red zone through here. You have less hair in the red zone, so by over directing, we're not going to have any holes within the haircut there. And I can see my guide there, so I'm just going to go right in that same spot. And now that we're up to that parietal ridge section, I'm going to take smaller sections here, still over directing this to preserve the length in that red zone. Now, if our guest here had shoulders, we could easily ask her to turn her head towards her shoulder. This is going to help direct that hair behind her shoulder, and it will help you preserve the length as well. But since my mannequin here doesn't have shoulders, I am just going to, and same goes if you don't want that length preserved, then you don't, I mean, if you're okay with the front being shorter, then that step wouldn't necessarily be something that you would have to do. So now I'm going to take this very last top section and we're working off of a center part. And we are going to do this section the exact same way that we did that previous section. Just following that guide there. And she's had previous layers done before, so there's not quite as much on this last section here. And that is actually what we are going to do next. We are going to add in some progressive concave layers to her style. And you can use this technique to create a shag of any kind, so any length. And depending on how dramatic you want that shag to be would be how long you want to leave your length and how short you want to take your layers. So to do our layers for our guests, we're going to find the high point of her head and we're going to make 5 sections from there. So I'm going to take this first section to the back of her ear. Same thing on this side here. We're gonna use our TK2 comb with this part right here. I'm putting my finger behind her ear, I can see where the high point of her head is from that first section I took, and just connecting the dots. So we get a very clear, easy parting there. It really makes making those sections just so much easier. And in the back here, we're gonna split this up into 3 sections. I'm going to start with the center section, and I'm going from the high point down to this corner of her nape here. And actually this will determine this side section here. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip this off. And left a little bit of hair there. Same thing, I'm finding the corner of her nape there, the high point being there, and just taking that section. And this is going to be the sectioning that you want to do to prepare for these progressive concave layers, this being that last and final section there. I'm going to be using my surface razor, and I'm going to lower her a little bit here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to elevate, and we're going to do a little bit of surface, no pun intended, surface layering there. So because these are progressive layers, and I really want to elevate this section here. Taking my razor with my index finger on top, holding it just like so, and I feel like this gives me really, really good control here. And I am going to take this and do those surface layers, and then drop that section and scoop it out. I'll show you that one more time on this section, and then we'll work our way around her head. So by putting these layers through here, where this shape here is really going to start to take place nicely, where we get that flip naturally. So then you're going to work just from one side to the other. Take a little bit of your guide from that previous section here. A little bit more there. Now we're going to work with these front sections, and what I like about this area is you really have a great opportunity to customize the cut. If you want more dramatic layers around the face, you can over direct these front sections forward, and if you want less, you can take them back out to the side here. We're going to give her some more dramatic layers around her face by directing this forward. I'm going to go in with my razor and scoop that out. Sorry, I'm going to turn her this way. I'm still towards her face here, elevating that, and then dropping and scooping. Again, we're taking elevated and then dropping and scooping. And then lastly, for this haircut, what we need to do is go in and remove that corner. So we're going to take this mohawk section here and take that corner off. Look at that texture that you can see even throughout that. It's phenomenal. We're gonna take this off right here, removing the corner. That way we don't have any harsh lines where that's falling. And that is how you can get the windswept unleashed haircut.